What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Ad Podcast. I am here with Neda Whitney, president of Matt Projects. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
So how's day one for Cannes been for you?
Well, we got a stack of bracelets.
You're beating me.
We're getting there. We're doing the thing. Yeah,
Let's
it's
go.
been not too bad so far.
Awesome.
Not too bad.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, for those who might not be familiar, tell us a little bit about Matt Projects and what do you guys do?
Sure. We're an agency. We're
Nice.
based in Soho, in New York City.
Let's go.
We are about 75 people. We've got most of our folks are in New York, but we've got presences in Los Angeles and Mexico City as well.
Oh,
and
fun.
we do experiential work, which is very, very increasingly popular right now.
Big time.
And we do some campaign work as well. So I'd say 60-40 split.
Okay, awesome. So you already alluded to it, but experiential is having a moment. I traveled every single week this year, besides 6 weeks, to go to an event somewhere in the world
Just a
to
flex.
meet people.
Just
Hey,
a
a little
flex.
bit,
Okay.
but I don't think that's, like even from a B2B perspective, conferences and events are the way to, get people in the real world, build
Yeah.
relationships, get off email and LinkedIn where your inboxes are flooded with AI spam and bots, and
Yep.
people want to do business with people and build relationships in the real world. Post COVID, I feel like conferences and things like Cannes, but even smaller intimate events are really in high demand. So I'd be curious, how are you guys tapping into that trend, as you mentioned?
Yeah, I mean, listen, like all us marketers are descending in the south of France
Yep.
because it's a wonderful place to be when it doesn't feel like the surface of the sun, which it does this week. But also because there is a power in real world connection,
Yep.
right? And what we do when we build experiences, we believe in that power. I think it's like we had a moment, gosh, maybe like 10 years ago when everyone was like, social media. It's
Yeah.
the thing, like the thumb-stopping scroll. We talked about it. Everything is about it. And you think about that, and it's like, yeah, you stop for like 3 to 5 seconds. That's when you got to get the message in to stop the person, to like make a difference. But the last time you talk to someone, it's probably about an experience, right? An actual
Totally.
human
Yep.
interaction. So when you as a brand have the ability to make that human interaction, to like get someone to travel to a place and then be in that place, and every touch point in that place is curated by the brand, from what they see to what they taste to what they hear to who they meet to what they smell to all the activities,
All the senses.
all of
Yep.
it. It's super like sensorial. And then they leave, and I fundamentally believe it changes you on a cellular level.
That's interesting,
right?
yeah.
Like you're doing something way different than the thumb stopping.
Yeah.
You're really like changing someone's perception and feeling and loyalty and brand love. And that, there's the whole quandary. I was on listening to a panel today about like, well, how do you sell them to the CFO?
Yeah, how do you
right?
measure it?
Yeah.
Yeah, how do you
And
tie it to
how do we
ROI?
quantify this when the
Yeah.
world wants, that
Last
click-through
click
rate?
attribution,
Yeah, like
ROI,
the
ROAS.
That's
yeah,
right. There's
all the
no
digital
silver
metrics,
bullet
yeah.
for experiential. But I will say what we find is that the people who are in these moments will become much bigger and better proselytizers and brand loyalists for you than someone who's had an ad chase them around the internet.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like when you think of those brands that you're loyal to, I'm super loyalist to Delta.
Yep.
It is not because Delta has followed me with an ad.
Yeah, it's because
It
they've
is
provided amazing experience both in the
Every single
flights
time.
and the way they treat you as a
every
customer.
single time. That is what does it for me. When you think of, Tiffany, it is
Yeah.
not about the brand chasing you around online. It is every experience touch point. And I think in a world where it's really hard to break through, the critical component of those experience touch points have to be augmented with those moments in person to reach people
Yeah.
from a brand perspective.
I love it. You talked about being transformative. There's actually a trend right now, like the transformation economy. It's big in
Yeah.
travel where people are traveling not just to do the drop and flop, as they say, like go to vacation, put your bags down and sit at the pool for 3 or 4 days. Although, there's a place and time for that, I think.
No
but
doubt.
they want to go and travel and, come back changed in some way. How are you seeing brands thinking about this idea of experience economy, transformation economy to make their events less corporate, more transformational, more experiential, where it does feel more of like a a value exchange or coming away, like you said, changed at the cellular level.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
I mean, I could give you like a real broad answer,
Sure.
but I actually have super tactical answers.
Let's go.
We've launched 2 yachts
Wow.
in the last year, one for the Ritz-Carlton and one for Four Seasons.
Oh, I love that.
So when you talk
Yeah.
about trying to create these, walk away from what you call the stop and flop,
Yeah,
right? To experiences that are lived and that really give you something richer. Luxury brands are thinking of how do we capitalize on that, right?
Because it used to just be you would go to the concierge and they would refer you out, but
That's
now
right.
Ritz-Carlton wants to own that
The
luxury
full
experience end to end.
We will take you places, and that whole time that you're aboard, every single touch point will be curated by us. And it's not a one size fits all. The Ritz yacht that we launched was super different to the Four Seasons yacht. They had a very different perspective on what that luxury experience should look and feel like. That was discreet to their consumer and the ultra high net worth individual in their minds and their touch points. But both of them were about creating a once in a lifetime experience. Because ultra high net worth, you can go anywhere, you can have anything. So how am I going to make you want to spend that money on my vessel? And that's a whole different ballgame. And then you're starting to think about like, how am I bringing things on the ship, whether that's musical experiences for the Ritz-Carlton, we booked Sting and Janelle Monáe and Ellen Goulding coming off the Bezos wedding, and Martha Stewart was doing her Martharitas at Aperitivo hour, and you were working out with Tom Brady. It was such a vibe and like real once in a lifetime stuff.
This is like the ultra luxe.
Yeah. And then when it came, and Cedric Goulet was doing the pastry. It was so amazing. And then when it came to Four Seasons, it was much more subdued. It was like, this is where you bring your family and you connect, and it's yachting, and listen, I don't spend as much time on yachts as one might think. It was perhaps
it's a labor
one
of the
my,
job, right?
But when I went, I was like, oh, I get it. Like you're really spending time and you're connecting with those around you, and you're like at peace, and you're having these beautifully curated experiences, and it wasn't the flash, and it was
It's
really
a shared experience. You're not running around a resort. You're with a group of people.
That's
you're going to
right.
build relationships. You can't escape them.
Yeah.
But hopefully you're going with people you want to go deep
spend
with, right?
time with. And whether that's family, extended family, a wedding on a yacht, whether that's a business that's buying out the yacht, it brought a whole new level of customizing that travel experience. So that's a real tactical example, but I think at a brand level, companies are doing it all over. We just launched L World, which is Amazon's prequel to Legally Blonde. It's a series
I heard
that's
about
launching.
that. Yeah, my daughters and wife are very excited
Yeah,
about that.
it's gonna be amazing.
They're 10 and 12, and my middle daughter even considered that she wants to be a lawyer now after watching
I love
those
it. I
movies,
love to hear that. My girls are 9 and 12. They're about to be next month. So one of them came with me to L World.
Nice.
I went right before I jumped on the flight here.
So good.
And that was, again, bringing to life this whole world that Reese Witherspoon created with Elle Woods, and passing that torch to the new cast and content creators and everyone to really bring a moment to life and connect in a new way to create kind of this whole brand moment, instead of just being like, we're launching it and here's some out of home and here's some this and here's some that. And the press around it has been like inescapable, it feels like. So again, that's like
Barbie style.
Yeah, exactly. So, different altitudes, I think, but all around creating those experiences.
What do you think about kind of that throwback 90s nostalgia? But I think really what you're seeing is millennials come of age, they have kids, and now they want to have, like my wife brought my oldest daughter to the Gilmore Girls experience at Warner Brothers, around the holidays. But they are rediscovering these old TV shows, these old properties that are having second lives because of streaming. They're popping. And then, brands are capitalizing on that fandom and designing these, immersive experiences. But it's really generational sharing too, parents and kids coming together for like newfound fandom.
Yeah, it's super relevant. We at Matt Projects, what's interesting is like, I said we do experiential and we do campaign. And we also own and operate a space called Hero, which is a part of Matt.
That's cool.
And in that space, we actually throw those kinds of experiences you're talking about.
Okay,
so
nice.
we tap into IP, whether it's family-led experiences around the holidays, or we've got a new project coming up that I can't yet talk about, but it's exactly what you're talking about in that nostalgia place.
Super cool.
That's going to be launching this holiday season, and it's all about like bringing people together in those shared moments. One of our clients is Disney, and we worked with them to create these huge moments for Gen Z to come together and reground themselves in the IP of Mickey and Minnie and Donald and Goofy, right? Like, I grew up with them, you probably grew up with them, but like, I don't think the generation below us really had as much affinity because they had like hundreds of channels. I had like maybe 40 channels, like, like it wasn't like
their YouTube,
guys. I
guys.
didn't have this urban sprawl of content that kids these days do. Kids these days, how old do we sound? But so Disney really needed to create moments to reconnect. And so we created these moments. Anderson .Paak was DJing. We were bringing content creators there. We were making it like cool and relevant again. And it really stuck. And we were having brands like, Gap and junk food and
doing
all
collabs.
these cool do the collabs and bring the character IP back to life, and people loved it. It was like all of a sudden you were seeing it come back on sweatshirts and in every kind of wearable format. Super popular.
Yeah, those are like launching points for licensing deals.
That's right.
And kind of building
That's
the
right.
buzz
That's
for
right.
people who want to take that experience and then have a keepsake and a collection to shop.
So you nailed it. So that like has been super popular for us. So there is definitely a lot. Even at this L World event, I went and I was like, oh, caboodles, she's back. I see you. I had one of you. Yeah. So there's a lot of that like coming back where it's like there's these Easter eggs in there for those of us who lived it. And my daughter was like, oh, I want one of those. What is that? And I was like, well, let me impart upon you the wisdom of the caboodle. So yeah, it's fun.
Very fun. Well, if folks want to follow along with your thought leadership or connect with you at the agency, where do you want to send folks to tune in?
We're at Matte Projects, MATTE Projects, and I personally am Neda Whitney Graham on Instagram. You can follow me if you want to see a lot of shiny things in fashion, but you can follow the agency if you want to see a lot of the cool work we do. And yeah, we got more cooking.
Let's go. Amazing. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
Cheers.
On YouTube. Finding the right audience to build a media plan requires hours of research. And optimizing campaigns is time-consuming and a bit of a guessing game. That's why we built technology to do it for you. Strike Social.